Alright fellas, welcome back. I've made a decision which was quite the sad decision in a way, which is that the brewery as is going to be removed and taken out of service today. The plan was to have one last go on her, but I've made the decision to just crack on and remove it. I'm going to be doing a bit of a project with the bench. The bench, which is just like a timber frame mocked up with worktop. Also, the HLT has always been sat on this shelf from day one of me getting this place plastered out. And in the future, I'm not having the HLT there. It's going to be 3 pots in a row. So I want to get that shelf out, and I think, if my memory serves me right, I think the plywood that is making up that shelf was put in before I plasterboarded the walls. So when I remove it, I'm going to have to bond the walls back up and then put a bit of a skim on it to get the holes filled in. And it's jobs like that that I want to get done and out of the way so that we can then start working on other things. So in this bench that I'm working on is pretty high, and I'm thinking I'm going to use some handrail tubing and buy some fittings to make a table out of. And I'm going to have it as low as the fridge will let me, which isn't that much. I've got a couple of inches from the top of the worktop to the bottom of the worktop to the top of the fridge. I'm hoping that once I've lowered it a little bit, and then I'll use 3/4 inch ply that I'm going to gloss and then varnish, and that will be thinner than the worktop, so we'll be gaining probably 2 inch, 3 inch drop in height, which will help me, because at the minute I'll be like peering in, and also it will be more sturdy because this thing rocks about. So all that will be coming out, but mainly today, and I'm not sure how I'm going to shoot this video. I might shoot it over a period of a couple of days once the work's done. So plastered that up, taken this out, and then release the video, which is this video. And then when I get the parts for the table, then I can just crack on, just remove this bench. Nothing's resting on it because this pot system, this 3-vessel system, is going to be gone. And it gives me room before we move the bench to work on the control panel, etc. Because at the minute I'm doing it all on the Keyser, and it's not much space, and I'm having to then move the pots and everything out the way to work on it. So I'm struggling for room, which slows down me trying to crack on. Also, as you saw in the last video, I've upgraded the GoPro. So this is the GoPro 7 Black Edition, and I'm going to be wearing this while I take the pots out, to take the shelf off and doing the other bits and bobs. See what the footage is like on this. I've not actually seen any, so let's get to this. Let's switch to this footage and we'll get some stuff shifted. Oh, so here we go with the new GoPro. I have no idea what the footage is going to look like on the editing block, but there's like a screen on the back of the GoPro which I haven't had before. It's a touch screen. It looks pretty good on there. The lighting looks okay. Hopefully the quality is going to be a lot better than the other GoPro. So we need to start by just removing things from here, such as the old mash tun. So I've got the GoPro on a chest mount, which I've never worn before, so I don't know if it's going to be too low, pointing in the right direction. I do know that the last time when I wore the GoPro it was on the head, and so it was a case of wherever I pointed my head I knew I was filming. So I may revert back to the head mount, but I don't know, guys, I don't know. Right, I need a spanner, and luckily enough it's got a friggin' isolation valve. Let's have a look in here. Yeah, I'm thinking, just looking at the screen, I'm thinking the head mount might be better. Back on the noggin. Yeah, this feels more comfortable. Now everything that I look at is hopefully in shot. It's a sad day. Right. Yeah. I hate spiders. There you go, middle. There you go. Well, what we're gonna do it now. Yeah, look at that. Get it, you son, get it. Ta-da. Did I get this on here? Oh, I stuck it on, didn't I? Brains of Britain. Come on! Oh, that's much better. You big damn goof. Yeah, I did, didn't I? Bolted it on. So I might be able to get them off without taking this off. I thought I'd screwed it to the wall, I hadn't. I'd bolted it on. Right. Let me go get the, whatever it's called, the socket set. Brute force and ignorance. I missed. We're on. Right, we're back. Day 2. I have reviewed the footage off the GoPro. It looks pretty damn good. But I noticed that the angle was a little bit too high on the second part of the day's shooting, so I'm going to try and make that a little bit better. Hopefully that is a bit better. Right, I have managed to remove the bolts. Also managed to stick the hammer into the side of the window frame. You goof. But anyway, the bolts are all out now, and the shelf is now completely out. I think this was one of the first things I put in here when I moved in to the brewery, was the shelf. It's been up all that time. And now it is redundant. So, what I'm going to do is, because I put the shelf up, I even put the shelf up before I did the plastering, before I got the plasterboards in, because I wasn't actually sure how far I was going to go with it all. Didn't even know at the time I was going to plasterboard it. So shelf's out, but it's left this hole. In fact, I even put this in. Cladded the window. How fancy pants! This is PVA. This will seal the brickwork and the edges of the plasterboard. And for anyone that doesn't know, it just stops the brickwork and the plaster from sucking. Sucking all the moisture out of the bonding, and that way it doesn't crack and drop off. Right, while we wait for that to dry, before we get some bonding in it, I had a delivery from the malt miller. It was a really quick delivery actually. I think it was like a couple of days after ordering it arrived. And I put a post up on YouTube, also put one up on Instagram, and I couldn't decide on what whirlpool fittings or arm to get. And in a couple of videos I was asking you to point me in the direction. I wanted one that fitted high up in the pot and had a long arm down to the bottom, and I couldn't really find one that I wanted, one that I liked. So these are like ports that fit lower down in the pot, and you have your tap so that obviously you can shut her off so nothing comes out. But there were two that I was looking at. I was umming and ahhing about the SS Brewtech one, which is this one. This is the one that they have designed for their pots, and effectively it comes with two spare washers, some PTFE tape, and the bulkhead and the actual whirlpool fitting, which I'm guessing is just a bored out nut with a slit in it. I've seen some videos on these. They look to be producing quite a reasonable whirlpool. So say your bulkhead fitting just goes through the side of the pot, and then this screws into the bulkhead fitting, and obviously as the water comes in it's shooting it down the side of the pot. So that's the SS Brewtech one. But the malt miller also was selling these as a complete kit. So you've got your elbow and your elbow, your hose barb, and the bulkhead fitting. And I thought, well, I'll get both of them and I'll try them both out, testing them in the pot. Just get water in there to start with, run the pump, and see which one produces the best whirlpool. And if we do end up going with the SS Brewtech whirlpool fitting, which has a smaller profile, looks a bit neater, if we do end up going with this to create the whirlpool, then this can go in the HLT as a recirc port at the top. So we ain't losing anything. I'm just trying now to finish off ordering the last parts. As I think about them, I just order them now straight away instead of umming and ahhing, and just trying to move things on. We've also got, in a couple of videos time, to sort out the side glass for the is that the boil part of the HLT? Yeah, the side glass for the HLT, thermoprobe for the HLT. We're going to get that fitted at some point, but I shall record it all. And next job for today is going to be getting that bonded up and tidied up, and then we have a bench then to work on. Coming up in another video, it won't be this video, but I'll be shooting it today. I'm going to be masking this off today, marking out properly, and doing the cuts, because I picked up a hole saw and some metal blades for the jigsaw. So we're going to mark that out, mask it off, mark it out, and cut away, but that'll be in another video, but we're doing it today. Right, so what I've got in here is bonding. This isn't finished plaster. It's what you put on wall when you put on wall. It's what you put on walls when the backing plaster started to drop off before you get to the finish, or if you're patching something up like this. So it's not particularly deep, so this bonding is going to be perfect for this. If it was any deeper, then you use a different backing plaster, which is lighter, and you can put it on thicker, but this will be fine. And if you trowel it up take your time troweling the backing plaster up, this bonding, then you can get a pretty decent finish on it, for especially what I'm going to be just wanting. Failing that though, once this has dried or started to go pretty much off, then you can put your finished plaster skim over the top of this, but I don't think I'm going to bother. I might do, but I don't know. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. Right, this has gone tacky. And I'd normally have me float, have me hook. I haven't bothered getting it out, I'm just going to put it on with this. Okay, this is going to be awkward. Because I put the shelf in first and then bordered around it, the board is higher on the top than the bottom, so it'll have to be just sloped into place, but it'll be fine. Get it in and plastered up. Key is to mix sure, so you end up just needing a little bit more and going balmy because you haven't mixed enough. But this is going on all right. Like this, but you want it wet enough so you can get somewhat of a finish on it, especially if you're not going to be putting much finished plaster on top of it. Fairly. Just have a bit of patience when you're freehanding. Rustic finish. Last time I plastered in here was at the start of it all. Crikey me. That was a long time ago. For about 7 years, 6, 7 years. There you go. That's another golden rule. Stop playing with it. Make you go blind. I'll just play with it a little bit and wear glasses, I think. That's it, fellas. I mean, effectively, she's got a backing plaster on. I'm going to play with that for just a little bit, let it keep going off, setting, and then we can sort her out once and for all. But I think that concludes this video. We've had some bits arrived. We've got the shelf out. The old brewery is no more, it's gone. It's a sad time really, because we've had that ever since we started electric brewing, ever since we started brewing really, because before we had the elements in there we were doing it on the gas with them pots. And I was hoping to get one more brew out of her as like a final send-off to the kit, but it was important for me to do this because it's meaning a definite kick up the arse, a definite like out with the old, in with the new sort of step. So I'm going to crack on for the rest of the day filming the next video, which is going to be sorting out the control panel, getting a cut, getting things installed. Hopefully that's the plan, at least planning it out and making a few cuts. But don't really want to rush this part. I want to make sure that I've definitely got everything where I want it, and that nothing's being fouled when I open the door, because once I start cutting, I'm committed. But that's it, fellas. I think the fans in the fridge are about to take off. But that's it, fellas. So stay tuned for the next video coming up. But that's it. So as always, don't forget to thumbs video because tomorrow. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Click on the subscribe button to see. Until next time, let's be on here. Come on here.